We live? All right, we are live. Welcome, everyone, to the ARCA Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Colby Evans, a.k.a. Start and Park Car here, and we are here with a preview show, one of the rare times where we're only doing a preview show. We're not reviewing anything, so we are previewing this weekend's ARCA Main Series and East Series combo race at Indianapolis Raceway Park, or IRP, if you want to call a shorter name. Huge entry list, one of the biggest entry lists we've had this season, especially for short tracks. I'm very excited to be announced I'm going to be there as well. Unfortunately, not driving, but I will be there nonetheless. It'll be my first time at Indianapolis Raceway Park in 14 years. So you can definitely say I'm glad to go back. It's been a while. We're going to be previewing the entry list, previewing the E Series storylines, previewing the main series storylines. Like I said, lots to talk about, lots to discuss. We're also going to go into, I think, an honest discussion of, so somebody on Twitter put out a very, I think, respectful post on the actual competitiveness of the series. I want to, shed some light on that as well. And we'll just talk more as we go. So I'm going to get through my little intro, and we will jump right into the show. So you guys know the drill. Follow me on social media, Start and Park Car on Twitter for all ARCA tweets, NASCAR tweets, and any of the occasional crap. For some reason, you guys seem to love that I tweet. We are so close to 6,000 followers. So, again, if you like what you see here and you like what I do, give me a follow there. Speaking of getting close, we are less than 100 subscribers away from 2,000. So if you like what you see and what we do here, give a subscription to the channel. Let's get to 2,000 before the end of the year. That's the goal. Super chats are open if you'd like to financially support the show. Any and all money would go straight to my racing account. So be much appreciated. And of course, check out the Racing Experts for all NASCAR media related content. So, I need to find a way to make that shorter. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? So, Indianapolis Raceway Park, or IRP for short. It's a fun little short track in Brownsburg, Indiana. Not far away from the famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Obviously, it's a big combo weekend for the stock car racing sport. You have the NASCAR Cup Series and Xfinity Series at the Brickyard, and you have the Truck Series and ARCA Series at the little short track known as Indianapolis Raceway Park. It's a fun little short track, one of the more unique short tracks on the circuit where the bottom groove is not necessarily the preferred groove. Very, very old and worn out surface. And it's seen some good times, it's seen some bad times, and it's good to see the track still going in 2024. The ARCA Series has been coming here for quite, I think they came here. They've been coming here a couple of years, but I think there was some time where they didn't come here. They came here in the 80s, and then the last race here was 1985, and then to 2011. So a long gap from coming here. And then they came here from 2011 to 2012, didn't come here in 2013, and then came here from 2014 through 2020. They didn't come here in 2021 and have been back the last 2 years. Toyota domination, or as you can say, Venturini domination, is the easiest way to put it, as Venturini comes into this race a defending champs of this race for the last 5 years. Christian Eckes, Chandler Smith, and Jesse Love have won the last 5 races here. So Venturini obviously coming in with the advantage this weekend, which is kind of shocking. Usually it's the 18 car that comes in with the advantage. But they have won the last 5 races here in a row. Of course, though, keep in mind, though, Christian Eckes, Chandler Smith, and Jesse Love are not in this weekend's race. Venturini has a different lineup of drivers this weekend, so that could change. That could easily change. And the biggest thing we've noticed this year are car counts. Car counts for the ARCA Series in 2024 have been up tremendously. That is definitely a definite positive. And this weekend is definitely a big noticeable from last year. Last year, we've actually been averaging only about 23, 24 cars. For instance, the last 3 years of car counts, 2023 had 25, 2022 had 24, and 2020 had 20. This year, 2024, 31 cars for a short track race in 2024. And that's a pretty good field size. It looks like from the entry list, we only have 3 starting parks. We'll go over those in a second as well. but a very, very solid entry list size for sure. We're going to go through the entries number by number, so this might take me a second, so just bear with me as I read them all off. So we'll start off from the top. We have the 0 of Nate Muller from the Peterson Motorsports gang with 2 cars here this weekend. Andres Perez de Lara in the 2 for the Siegel entry, of course. LeVar Scott in the 6. Jason Alexander returns to Fast Track Racing. He will be in the 10. Zachary Tinkle, of course, since this is an East race, he is in the 11. Presley Sora, Indiana native, will be running his first full race effort for Fast Track Racing in the 12, so happy for him. Hopefully it goes well for him. Chris Wright will be in the 15, my favorite driver, if you guys know, for the long-time viewers of this show. Mark Landretti in the 17. William Sawalich, of course, in the 18. Gio Rogero in the 20. Amber Balkan in the 22. Tony Breidinger in the 25. Connor Zilch in the 28. Rita Goulet, East race, so she's back in the 31. Christian Rose in the 32. Lawless Allen and the Josh Rayom ARCA team are back again. In the 33. Isaac Johnson returns in the second. Greg Van Alst entry in the 34. Then you got Greg Van Alst in the 35, also an Indiana native. Actually, both Isaac and Greg are Indiana natives. D.L. Wilson in the 39. Again, he is an East driver for Costner, so he will be in that car. Brad Smith, of course, in the 48. Dean Thompson in the 55. Becca Monopoly in the City Garage team making their debut in an old Mullins racing car. In the 85, Casey Carden returns to IRP. He'll be in the 86 for Club. The 93 of Tyler Tomasi will be, I believe this will be his debut. He will be in the other Costner entry. Andrew Patterson in the 95. Jackson McLaren in the 96. Those are the 2 Noble Motorsports entries. Sorry if you hear my dog barking. Every time we open the door, my dog barks because she hates people for some reason. I don't know why, but she loves to bark. So sorry about that if you can hear it. Dale Shear in the 98, of course, and the 99 of Michael Maples. Cody Dennison with Jason Alexander taking over the 10. Cody Dennison has been moved over to the 0-1. Not necessarily a big deal. He'll still get points. It's just this time instead of being in the 10, he'll be in the 0-1. Alice Club in the 0-3. And Brayton Laster makes his return to the ARCA Series this season with Peterson Motorsports. So that is our 31-car field. In terms of starting parks for the race, Nate Muller, more than likely. Casey Carden, more than likely. And I would have to say Brad Smith. Brad's been doing a lot of starting park lately as well. So, 3 cars more than likely are going to be your starting parks with 28 full race cars. And that's pretty good, considering that we have more full race cars in this race than we had cars show up last year. Because when you keep in mind, we had the 0-3, unfortunately, have a mechanical issue in practice. So technically only 24 cars actually started last year's race. And I think by lap 60, let's hear. And last year's race, by lap 60, we were already down to just 18 cars. So a massive improvement in terms of the mid pack. Not really sure if much going to, honestly, I mean, let's be honest here. I'm not sure if much is actually going to change up front, like the top 5. But in terms of the cars that run like 8th to 20th, that is going to be an amazing battle. There are so many cars in this entry list that will run 8th to 20th. That's going to be, in my opinion, where the real racing action is. Yeah, you're going to have, you're going to have the Venerini cars. You're going to have the Venerini cars and, Sawalich and the 28. They're all going to be probably battling for the win. And maybe we'll see the Rev cars get up there. But the real fun battle is going to be in the mid pack. That's what I'm most looking forward to. I would love for some of these guys to get up there, but God, with just, the factory team of the 18, the 28 getting so much Chevrolet support, and obviously Venerini being the juggernauts, it's just so hard for anyone to really compete up there with them, especially at a track like this, like I said, where Toyota has been the dominant team. Greg Van Alst, you can't count him out. This is one of his specialty tracks for sure. I wouldn't say count out Christian Rose either. He's stepped it up this year. Don't count out either of the Rev entries. Like I said, it's never over until that checkered flag hits. But, based off of past history, I think it's safe to say here it's going to be tough to beat that 18 and the Venturini gang. It's going to be very, very tough. But yeah, in terms of competitiveness, like I said, guys, I mean, we had only 18 cars attempt the full race last year, it looks like. And compared to this year, we'll have 18 cars attempted the full race last year, 28 this year. Lots of good stories in the field. Like we went over on the entry list, lots of new entries. But in terms of competitiveness of the series, this is one thing that I did want to bring up a little bit. And I saw someone on Twitter bring this up, and I'm like, it's not bashing the series. There's a difference between just outright bashing the series and putting up a good discussion, I would say. And I wanted to talk about this for just a brief moment. We're not going to spend too much time into it. If I can find right here. But the non-factory teams have only led a total of 30 of the 1,017 laps this season. And nobody running for the full season championship have won yet. Now, I think that is actually a very fair argument to say right now about the series. It has unfortunately been dominated by the 18 of William Sawalich and the Venturini gang, but it's the Venturini non-full-time drivers, that are winning. And Connor Zilic, obviously, who's not even old enough to run the whole series if he wanted to. Not yet. Like, he's going to be. When is Connor Zilic going to be old enough again? It's coming, right? It's coming. Because I know he's 17 now, so I don't remember exactly when his birthday is, but I know he's going to be 18 eventually. But I feel like it's a fair argument, obviously, like I said, Andres Perez de Lara, he is leading the championship right now. But when you really look at his stats, 3 top fives in 9 races. He's only led 13 laps. Greg Van Alst in second. Now, I feel like comparing Greg Van Alst to the higher budget teams isn't fair, not even by close, because he doesn't have near the budget that they do. And if he did have the budget that Venturini and Sawalich did, I'm sure Greg Van Alst would be up there every single week. If he had that kind of budget, I mean, Greg's a good short track driver, just doesn't have that kind of budget. And the fact that he's doing this good is good. I'm glad, I'm happy for him. But I just feel like it's a fair argument. I feel like it's a fair argument to make about the series. And I hope that by July 21st, wow, okay, well, that's convenient timing right there. So, Connor will be 18 years old literally this Monday. That's convenient. But I just feel like it's a fair argument to make for the series. And I do hope that, we can get one of those full-time drivers, just get a win, like if it's Andres or Christian, or Chris Wright can sneak a win, just a full-time. It would be cool if one of the ladies could get a win as well. But it would help the series a lot, I feel like, if we could get a full-time main series driver win. Because I'll be honest with you guys, and I mean this in a nice way, if we have a winless champion, this year, honestly, to me, that's not a good look. That's not really the best look for the series. I do hope Andres can at least sneak out a win. If he does go on to win this championship, which right now it looks like he is, I do hope that he can at least win a race because, like I said, a winless championship, I mean, at the end of the day, with how he ran through the whole season, was it really a championship caliber season? Not really. And that's the part I hate because, you look at Jesse Love last year, he won half the season, it felt like. But, he was running for the championship. He had a championship caliber season. So far this season, I can't say that Andres Perez de Lara, we can all agree, he has not had a championship caliber season. He hasn't. He's run well. He has. But has he honestly had a championship caliber season so far? No, he has not. And I think that's a very fair argument to make about the series is that, yes, it is absolutely great that we have 31 cars running IRP this weekend. We have 28 cars running the distance. That is fantastic. I am never going to complain about that. But you also got to look at the reality is how many of those cars can actually win, and that is unfortunately where the number discrepancy begins. And it's no neck on any of these organizations. Absolutely not. I have worked in the garage plenty of times. I am good friends with almost everybody in the garage except Chris Wright. Maybe we are. Who knows? Maybe Chris Wright secretly likes me. Who knows? But I have talked to multiple owners about comparing budgets, how, what their budget compares to the high dollar guys. And I get it. They simply just can't compete with it. And they do their best every single week. And I'm proud of them. The fact that they can even run as good as they do on the budget that they have compared to the top guys is very impressive. It really is. It really is. But when we look at the entry list this weekend, unless something drastic happens, I would say, in my personal opinion, your top 5 most probable winners are either William Sawalich, Connor Zilic, Gio Rogero. I'll throw in LeVar Scott as a dark horse because I think he's good on short tracks. And I'll throw in Greg Van Elst. I think those are your 5 realistic winners. Maybe Andres and 6. Maybe Andres and Greg are kind of like tied. Maybe we'll go with that. But yeah. And Rev Racing's short track program has not been the strongest in the ARCA series. I think we can also be honest with that too. They're competitive. They're up there, but it's not like they're up there competing for the win, unfortunately. And I want that to happen. Like I said, I want LeVar to win, and I want Andres to win so we can really make sure his season, in my opinion, is, like I want to call it, championship caliber. Am I going to be at Indianapolis the whole weekend? Yes. I might as well clarify that too. I'm going to be there the whole weekend. This is kind of a fun trip for me. Just wanted to go down to see the Oval. I don't care for the Indy road course. I wanted them to return to the Oval. And I said, if they go back, I'll go back for the first race. So it just so happens in the Gen 7 era, we are going back to the Oval. So I will be there all 3 days. I won't be hard to find. So if you guys are going to the Indy, the Brickyard 400 and the Xfinity race, I will be there. I won't be hard to find. Trust me, just look for the 6'4" redhead with a mullet. I'll stand out like a sore thumb. So come say hi. But yeah, I'll be there all weekend. We're going to have a grand old time there. So, but I just wanted to talk about that, for a second, because I felt like it was a very fair argument to make that, well, yes, it is absolutely great that we have a huge entry list. We also got to make light that, unfortunately, probably, less than a 5th or 6th of that actually have a shot at the win, which I get it. It's just what the series is at this point, and it's not, I don't know how to change it. I honestly can't offer up any options on how to change it off the top of my head, because I just don't have enough experience in this kind of, business and this kind of business and budget land. I don't think it's also my opinion to say on it in terms of how to fix budgets. That's, I don't have that kind of money to spend, so I can't tell people how to spend their money. I do want to say, though, is when Ty Gibbs ran the series in 2021, I feel like we can agree that's when the series kind of changed, and maybe for a negative way, because if you guys remember that 2021 season, Ty Gibbs, man, they were cranking out a fresh engine probably almost every single race. And they were running X2021, X2020, and like 2019 Cup cars. Like Ty Gibbs was given the most elite stuff anyone could ever ask for in an ARCA race. The fact that he did not win all 20 races in 2021 is a miracle. And I feel like that kind of changed the game in a way, because now you're seeing Venerini and Gibbs step up that budget even more, to where we are now, where it's just so hard to compete with them. It is so hard to compete with the 18 and the 20 cars specifically. It's just so hard. But I applaud them for trying their best. And yes, Ty Gibbs also just had natural talent. I mean, you can like him or you hate him, but Ty Gibbs does have talent. We have to admit that. But I just felt like that was a fair argument to make. I wanted to discuss it a little bit. I do hope, like I said, that a main series driver can win a race this season to help legitimize the championship battle. Because like I said, if Andres does go the whole season, and this is not a neck on him, but if he does not win a race this season, in my humble opinion, I cannot call that a championship caliber season and not a deserving champion. I just can't. And that's why I said the owner's championship battle in ARCA is kind of where the most entertainment can be. So yeah, just wanted to talk about that. Just wanted to bring it up. Just wanted to bring that up, talk about it. In terms of it this year, though, the point standings coming into this race. We'll start off with the main series points, then we'll talk about E Series points. But in particular, we have Andres Perez de Lara, who is your points leader, like I said. He's leading the championship by 40 points over Greg Van Alst right now. So it's safe to say if Andres can just run a clean 11 races, I think it's safe to say he's got the championship racked up. It's going to be hard for Greg to catch back up, especially as we move into the 2 dirt tracks coming up and another road course at the Glen. Unfortunately, I just don't feel like he'll be able to keep up with the 2 car there, even though I want him to. LeVar Scott is third. He's minus 46. Tony Breidinger is fourth, minus 57. Chris Wright is fifth, minus 61. Unfortunate for Chris that a couple of bad runs to start this season pretty much tanked any chance at a championship for him. Christian Rose is sixth. Amber Balkin is seventh. Michael Maples is eighth. Alex Clubb is ninth. Andy Jankowiak is 10th, but he is not entered for this race. Cody Dennison will pass Andy J after this race, and Cody will eventually move into 10th in the point standings. As for the Owners' Championship right now, as we've talked about, like I said, my opinion, the more fun battle to watch. The Joe Gibbs 18 car has a whopping 2-point lead over the Billy Venerini 20 car coming into this race. The Billy Venerini 55 car is, 28 points behind the 18. The Max Siegel 2 car is 32 points behind, and the Greg Van Alst 35 car is way, way behind, minus 72. So you could definitely say right now for the Owners' Championship, it looks like it's once again going to be a 2-horse race between the 18 car and the 20 car for your Owners' Championship. Which I will say, though, it gets pretty entertaining towards the end of the year when you have the Venerini cars versus the 18 for the Owners' Championship. Unfortunately, the 18 team lost it last year. They were not happy about losing that title because, like I said, that's really where the money is in the ARC Series, is that Owners' Championship. And definitely the 18 team does not want to go 2 years in a row with losing it. So they're going to be more determined this year to win it. The E Series standings, the driver points right now look like this. Connor Zilich, man, holding a pretty strong lead in 5 East races this season. He has won 3 of them. Definitely a shocker. Would not have called that. Would not have called that at all. He has a 17-point lead over William Sawalich and a 26-point lead over Gio Ruggiero. Zachary Tinkle is 4th. D.L. Wilson is 5th. Pretty contested battle right now from 4th through 7th right now. 4th through 7th in the East Championship is separated by 14 points. And remember, the top 5 in the East Championship get to go to the end-of-season banquet. So definitely want to hit that top 5 for sure for those drivers. 8 full-time drivers in the series. 8 full-time drivers in the series right now. Looks like it will be just those 8 that complete the final 3 races. We are already winding close down to this E-Series Championship, guys. After IRP, we will have just 2 more races in the E-Series Championship. That will be Milwaukee. After this race, we'll have Milwaukee and Bristol, and that is it. Those 2 races for the E-Series Championship. And honestly, I'm telling you, I just did not expect this out of Connor Zilich. And if he can come out of here with another good run, I mean, if he can win, I almost would say it's going to be really hard for them to catch him. Now, I think where the 18 and the 20 will do better than the 28 is Milwaukee, because they have way more notes to work with at Milwaukee than the 28 team does. That could be where they gain some points back. But if that 28 has the points lead going into Bristol, and Connor's definitely probably been on the simulator at Bristol, and we know how good he is on short tracks. As long as they don't have an issue of what happened last year at Bristol with Fenhouse, I think it's very well possible that Toyota could somehow, and I would not have predicted this, but Toyota could very well lose this East Championship, which would just be so shocking considering I think at the beginning of the year, we honestly thought it was going to be either Gio or William winning. I mean, I thought Connor would do well, yes, but we should never have underestimated 17-year-old Connor Zilch, right? He's doing so good. He really is. Like, I admit, I'm so impressed. Sorry if you hear the racket up above. If you hear the racket up above, my dad is not my dad, but my brother is has his dog here, and she's part Mastiff, so she's very loud, very, very loud. So hopefully, maybe she'll come down here. Who knows? Maybe Scout will come down here and she can jump up on my lap and say hi to all. Yeah. Yeah, those are the point standings. Oh, I almost forgot the owners. Do we have the owners championship for the East standings? I'll tell you that real quick. The owners championship in the East standings right now, pulling up the Mark Webb, who owns the 28 team, has a 17-point lead, of course, over the Joe Gibbs 18 car, and the Billy Venerini 20 car is 26 points behind, like I said. So just the same amount of points as in the driver standings. And like I said, the owner standings really are where the money is in ARCA. So I'm telling you, those owners championships, man, that would be bad. I'm telling you, that would really suck for JGR to lose not only the ARCA owners championship, but the ARCA East owners championship. That would really suck. That really would, because, you know, that's what they shoot for, as well as modern race wins. So, like I said, as I mentioned before, I will be taking a break from Brad Smith Motorsports for one race, and we'll be working on the 0-1 car. Obviously, with Andy Hillenberg's team running 5 full-time cars, you can understand that it's kind of hard to find bodies, because pretty much all of Andy's guys are UNOH crew. Very few guys. He has actually, you know, he's got quite a few guys that actually work for him, but a lot of it is just the UNOH kids, and they're all great kids. Love all the kids from UNOH. Just a good crop of kids, hardworking kids, who you can tell they have a fire to be in the sport and want to be a full-time crew member. So I respect anyone who comes out of the UNOH school. Unfortunately, you know, myself, I just don't really have the funds for it, unfortunately. I would like to go personally myself. It's kind of the thing is, if I go to UNOH, then I give up all my money that I have saved for racing, you know? So it's kind of, if I go this way, I have to go that way. If I go this way, I have to go that way. So I can't go to UNOH and then still pursue a racing career. So that's kind of why I've chosen trying to pursue a racing career. And luckily, you know, like I said, I got my brother who's a great mechanic, and I've been learning from him. And, you know, I'll admit I'm not the 100% best mechanic in the world, but, you know, I'm getting there. But I admit I do get schooled by these UNOH kids. I do. I'll admit I will. So yeah, honored for them, to be working with them, and honored to be working with Andy Hillenberg. We'll be working with Dick Doney. So it'll be cool to see Dick. You know, he's not full time anymore with Andy Hillenberg. So it'll be cool to see Dick at the track. Haven't seen him since Iowa last year, and you know, we've always gotten along. So like I said, I'm looking forward to working with him. Cody Dennison, Cody Dennison will be our driver in the 0-1. So we'll have the Tim Cass car. And I think we can have a chance at a top 15 finish. You know, we're running a Yates motor. So, and that's not an Ilmore motor, but it's not an SB2. So we will not be getting an engine penalty, as the SB2s and the D3s, those motor gets. Cody will be running a Yates motor. So, we'll have a motor that's, just as good as the cars around us. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for it. It's going to be something new. We got Cody Dennison watching live, so good to see you, buddy. And yeah, hopefully we can put together a good performance on Friday. I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is one of the few times, though, as IRP can be. The haulers park outside the racetrack, and we get to lug all that equipment and race car all the way inside the track. So it's going to be, as they call it, controlled chaos. Controlled chaos is how it's going to be. So. It'll definitely be different working for Andy Hillenberg. This is my first race. Hard to believe. I thought I've done one before, but this is not. This is my first race working for Andy Hillenberg. And like I said, Andy and I have been good friends. Andy and I and John, who's the team manager, we've all been good friends for well over probably 3 or 4 years. One of my sponsors will be dropping off a big-ass golf cart to help us haul. Even better, Cody. God, you You always think of us. Oh, God bless you, Cody. Oh, great. So we're going to have a golf cart to transport our stuff. Even better. Yes. When am I leaving for Indy? Tomorrow morning. But great. Well, that's going to be a savior. That's going to be a savior, having a golf cart. I mean, it's not a big walk. It is not a big walk from the garage, from where they stage haulers to where, we lug all of our stuff. And it's not the biggest walk ever. It's not that bad, but that's just easier when the haulers are inside the track and you just go like 30 feet into the garage and then load up. But yeah, it'll all be different. So, schedule for this Friday. Like I said, we unload all the hauler stuff on Thursday. Then you have the action day of Friday. Garage hours don't even open up till 9, so not the earliest day in the world. Garages open up at 9. Practice will be at 1:30. Qualifying will be at 2:30. We race. ARCA does at, trying to look at what time, 5:30. 5:30 will be our race, and then the truck series, they race at 8:30. So, and the fun part for the ARCA series is I believe we're going to be staging all of our cars in the infield, and then we get a load up at the same time, I think, with the truck series. Not really sure. It's going to kind of a weird schedule, but apparently the way it's looking on the schedule is that the ARCA series and the truck series will be loading up at the same time. So hopefully that goes well. Hopefully that goes well. Like I said, in terms of my driving plans, like I said, guys, unfortunately, it's been a little bit of a struggle this year, trying to find sponsors and trying to find funding. Unfortunately, we got bought out for Iowa, which I get. It's a business decision. I had talked to Peterson Motorsports about potentially running a second car for IRP, but there wasn't plans for that. Looks like they did have a last-minute plan for Nate to run the zero car, so that's fine. I get it. Again, business, it's a business decision. I can understand it. Nate's in the points, and the zero car's got to get East points. They're trying to get that top 15 bonus in the East Owners Championship, so I get it, but it's just hard because it kind of wrecks my plans. Unfortunately, without running a couple of short track races, I cannot get my approval for Kansas. So that kind of unfortunately takes out Kansas from my schedule. But we're working on some stuff, and there still might be. I'm going to say right now, there still might be a slim chance you guys might see me in an ARCA race this season. But unfortunately, that word, slim, it's a very, very slim chance. But never say never. Never say never, guys. Never say never in the series. So we'll see if it works out. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of talking to some teams this weekend in the garage area, and hopefully something comes out of it. We'll find out. Like I said, we'll find out. But yeah, just honored to be able to work for another team. It's always fun working for new people. I mean, I love working with Brad. Don't get me wrong. Don't even get me wrong for 1 second. I love working for Brad Smith, but it's always fun to work for different people in the series. And obviously Brad and Andy, I mean, Brad and Andy Hillenberg are like this. They're the best of friends, so I don't think Brad necessarily cares. And like I said, I get to work with Cody Dennison. That's fun. It's actually the second time that Cody and I have worked together and in a completely different team, because Cody and I worked together on the 86 car. Cody was the driver for the 86 at Daytona, and I was the car chief for the 86 at Daytona for club racing. So that was kind of ironic. It's kind of like a little bit of a reunion, and even on a different team. So sometimes it goes like that. Talking about the entry blank here, the race will be broadcasted live on FS1, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. So 5:30 in Indiana, 4:30 this time. So it's kind of a little bit of an early race. So hopefully the people who get off work can tune in. Circle City, proud sponsor. Thank you for them for sponsoring the race. First place is $5,000. Again, I wish we could get those payouts up, but yeah, unfortunately, it's just kind of how it is. I'm tired of complaining about it. Last place, 31st, will get $1,000. With contingency awards, first place could be up to $10,250, $5,625 for second, and $4,000 for third. There will be only one pit stop for the race at lap 100. That'll be the lap 100 race break. The lap 100 race break. Can you add? I know you can't add fuel until that stop, but are you allowed to change tires before that, I don't, unless it's like approved by ARCA, I'm not sure if you can change tires before and after that. And I do believe this is race break procedures where it's not going to be like a modified pit stop where they just bring them down and, everybody has to kind of go as fast as they can. I think we're actually going to stop the cars in the box, Team does their work, 5 minutes, and then we go back out. I think that's how we're going to be doing the pit road this weekend. So I'm the rear tire changer. For the 0-1 this weekend. So if you are going to the IRP race and you see somebody wearing a Levine family racing suit, that's me. That's me. I'm wearing a Levine racing suit from 2018. So that's me. So if you see that, look for the 0-1 pit crew and look for the Levine suit and you'll find me. So, but yeah, I'm just excited for all of that. In terms of the rest of the season, next race is next weekend at Salem. So a lot of Midwest races coming up. We have Salem coming up next weekend. Then we have Elko coming up after that. So a lot of Midwestern racing coming up. And then after that, we have a little bit of a break for the ARCA teams. Actually, no, sorry, I got that all mixed up. Did I get that? Oh, I'm looking at the 2023 schedule. By God, give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, we have a week break off after Elko, and then we have what they call the Hell Tour, which is Michigan on Friday and Springfield on Sunday. So we call that the ARCA Hell Tour. And then we go to Milwaukee, DuQuoin, Watkins Glen, Bristol, Kansas, and then the season finale in Toledo. So lots of different tracks still to go. I'd say it's anybody's game for the Owners' Championship, and as long as Andres Perez de Lara stays consistent, I would say it's safe to say that he will be our champion. But I do hope he can at least win a race. I do hope. So, yeah, guys. Like I said, it's going to be a fun race weekend. Keep up to date on Twitter, and we try to post as much as I can. I know we're all going to be busy in the infield. I know. I'm sure they'll put me to work. They'll put us all to work. But I would not miss this ARCA race. It's going to be 28 full race cars at a track like IRP. I just hope we can come out of it. Cody, if you're still watching, buddy, I hope we can come out of there in one piece. That's all I'm going to say. We might have some crushed up fenders, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I know, right? That's my goal. We might have some crushed up fenders, but I think the goal is just to be as clean as possible. We'll go with that. Clean as possible is the goal. Will I be racing at Salem next week? No, unfortunately not. Like I said, there's a slim chance I'll be racing, but it'll be later in the year. Nothing right now. It's just, and I'm happy for Andy Hillenberg. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that Andy is getting all this business. But damn, when you compare it to last year, and he had to at least one start and park in every race, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great for me. And then here we are, the 1 year I want to do the series, and everybody else wants to do it. And that's great. It's great to have more drivers in the series, but I can't compete with the money they're bringing. Oh, isn't it great? It's all about money. It's at the end of the day. Oh, boy. But yeah, I don't know. I've done enough ranting. But anyway, guys, keep up to date with the account. I'll be in Indianapolis tomorrow. We might do a podcast about JD Motorsports. I would like to give a shout out to Jen Qualkenbush. He is the owner of the 71 car in the West Series. Reached out to me after last week's show. Gave me a big shout out. So shout out to him. Been great to get to know him over the last couple of days, and knowing that he has an old Penske IndyCar hauler, that's pretty cool. So just lots of good stuff eventually coming. And I'm telling you guys, the goal is to be a race car driver. It might not be an ARCA, who knows, but the goal is to be a race car driver. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks again for tuning in on another Tuesday night for the ARC Racing Podcast. We will be back next Tuesday, again, live at 7 p.m. For the IRP race review. We'll talk about how it went with Cody and the 0-1 team. And then we'll also be previewing Salem Speedway. Salem Speedway, at this time of year, that's going to be an interesting race too. Can't wait to talk about that next week. So, till next week, guys, take care, have a good night, and I'll see you all I'll see you all real soon. We'll go with that. Give you guys a goodbye salute and goodbye.